Okay, and did you get my message there about Duckfist's donation? He didn't. Oh, that's right. I'll read it anyway because I'm here. I don't know why I'm like, I can't read it now. I'm done. All right, we are live. They can hear us though. Okay, we did get one more donation during that run. Duckfist donated $11 and says, put this towards the file name DQ3RTA. Congrats on a successful marathon, everyone. It was really fun. Thanks, Duckfist, and thank you for the runs that you did and the commentary that you did.
Hello, hello.
Hey, what's up?
Unmuted.
Hey, what's
Alright.
up?
Sounds like
That
I'm gonna
is
be streaming Mumble, so I'm gonna mute myself.
That is correct.
Channel Supreme. Alright, I just need a countdown and we should be good to go.
Alright, I think Seancast is here. He's going to take over on donations.
Yo! As a matter of fact, I have one right now.
Oh?
Yeah, it's from our good friend Duckfist.
You can read it again if you want to. I just read it, actually.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay. I just...
It's my bad, because I told you to read it, and then I read it anyway.
I'd like turned off the stream, or I'm like trying to get it up on live streamer now.
It's alright, it's alright.
I'm ready to go whenever you are.
He just wants you to count it down out loud. But I think he's ready when you are.
Okay. Well, 3, 2, 1, go. So this is Super Meat Boy. And the category I'm running right now is 106%. Which is basically, you collect all the little objects in the level, they're called bandages, and you get all the characters and you beat all the levels. And it's the completionist category for the game. The game itself has like a kind of weird reputation as this really hard game. It's not unwarranted, but I don't know, the more you play it, the easier it seems. Which is a nice change.
Oh, mumble is low? They're saying the mumble volume is kind of low, if you can turn it up.
Hang on.
Yeah, I mean, whenever it's convenient.
Alright, let me know how this sounds.
Alright, mumble sounds fine to me now, but you sound really quiet.
I do?
Yeah.
Alright. Nice, the game crashed anyways. Let me check my mic levels here. How does this sound?
Check 1, 2.
Check 1, 2, 3, etc., etc. Like, I don't have chat up, so I'm relying on you all to tell me if it sounds good or not.
That sounds fine. Did you want to start over since you were too far in?
Yeah, I don't even care, man. Let's do it.
Do the thing.
So since it's early in the run, I think I'll start by talking about some of the things you're going to see. There's a few tricks in the game. I haven't done any of them yet. Well, actually I have, but the first major trick in the game is called the auto jump. Basically, you trick the game into thinking that you're both pressing and not pressing jump at the same time by using the pause menu. And what that does is it gives you basically a game auto fire. So some of the situations where I'm pausing for a split second are trying to set up turbo fire. Another situation where I would be pausing is... hang on. There's a glitch where you can freeze a timer and lock it at 0 seconds. And I mean, the timer resets every stage, so it's not a... like, the game is a mechanic where you need to beat levels in under a power time to unlock the Dark World version of them. But some of the levels also have bandages that take a while to get. And so if you freeze the timer at 0 seconds, you can get both of them in one go, otherwise you would have to like repeat the stage and so on, and fuck that, that's boring. Whereas we're going to be taking, like, the game is several chapters. I'm going to be taking, like, kind of a weird route through it. The point here is, I mean, there's several alternate characters you can unlock, right? There's basically two major breakpoints where you want a certain character before a certain set of levels. And the first of them is you want this character called Joseph before the factory. The factory is the third chapter. So what's going to happen is I'm going to be doing the dark version of the forest after this light forest here that I'm just completing. And what that's going to do is it's going to let me get Joseph before the factory, and what Joseph does is he has this glitch where you can use a super jump with him and get like this insane amount of height. And that's going to be pretty useful. The other breakpoint is there's this character called Nija, and Nija is the most broken character in the game by far. And we basically want to get her as early as possible, because she speeds up pretty much every part of the game. She's also really hard to use. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be optimizing for doing parts of the game early that give me a lot of advantages and that are sped up. I mean, Nigel would still speed them up, but that would be sped up less with her. So that way we can get Nigel at basically the point where we can start saving the most time with her. So what that was there's a mechanic the game has called glitch goal, where like there's a certain secret level within all the chapters except the final like post-game bonus chapter. And that's where the 6% and the 106% comes from. The game has 6 main chapters. And after you beat the boss of a chapter, like Glitchko has this random chance to spawn at the end of a level. And as you complete more of the chapter and get the completion percent higher, that's going to go up. At its maximum, it's like a 1 in 10 chance. If it's anything below 100%, that instantly drops to like 1 in 20, and then it scales down linearly from there. So obviously, it would be ideal if we could like get Glitchko as we're going through the chapter normally. Like, she only starts spawning after we beat the boss, so she's not gonna appear before we complete the Light Wolf version of the chapter, but like there's about a like, how do I say this? Like, just from playing the game a whole bunch, there's like a 50 to like 2/3 chance, like 50% to like 2/3 chance that she's gonna spawn in the chapter just as you're playing it normally. If that doesn't happen, then we have to go farm for her, which typically involves a lot of suicides. But we can cover that more if we get to that point. Damn, dude. And I've been making that mistake a lot lately. Yeah, there was a bandage behind her, and I need to get it, but there we go. Playing this pretty safe. Anyways, that's basically the structure of the game. There's a chapter, there's light and dark halves of it, there's some warp zones and bandages scattered around, you have to get them all. And then there's 7 of those. The 6th chapter is basically the end chapter. There's only a few stages, there's no warp zones or bandages. The 7th chapter is a post-game chapter, it's just stages. But they're all really hard. Because each chapter obviously has some mechanics that it introduces. Like this one here, this chapter has fans, and then there's going to be like these blob enemies that show up later on. Like, it's really hard to talk about this game, because, like, you start talking about something and then it's already off screen by the time you, like, get halfway into your sentence. I really don't even know where to begin.
A donation here if I could get to it.
Sure thing.
It's from our good buddy Nero, and it's for $2. And it says pow 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 pow. Thank you very much, Nero.
Anyways, this is the first instance right here of the timer pause glitch, which I talked about a bit earlier. Basically, you can force like certain animations to happen in the middle of the pause screen, and one of those animations that can happen is like the spawn animation. And if you force that to happen in the pause screen, the game's gonna go, oh well, the game's paused, so obviously we can't start the timer. And then it never checks again after you unpause to see if it can start the timer, so it just stays at 0. It doesn't ever start. Yeah, like you get stages like that where the bandage is all the way back in the beginning and you have to like go back through it back and forth and all that shit. And those are the stages where you want to like, you don't want to have to replay them twice, so if you get the A+, which is like beating the power time and then the bandage in one go, then you save a whole bunch of time. Is that little cutscene that I skipped to was the Joseph unlock. So we have Joseph now. He's not going to be useful until a bit later. We also unlocked the character called Alien Hominid. With that unlock, it doesn't show. But when we next enter a level from the world map, we'll see him. So if I play my cards right here, I can get this second key really fast, and if I do, I'll skip a phase. And looks like I got it. So that's good. And we can abuse auto jump to like guarantee a wall jump off those key blocks. Normally, like it's when they're disappearing, there are frames where you can touch them but you can't jump off them. I'm pretty sure. It's like if you just go for it normally and try to beast it, it feels like it's a 50% chance that your jumps ever come out. So there are certain things like that where we can use auto jump to get things that we wouldn't normally go for. Anyways, this little bit of menuing here is to allow timer pause to happen. Like, there's different circumstances for it. Like, it depends on how you start the level. If you died on the level and are replaying it for some reason, probably because you died, then it's really easy to timer pause. You can basically pause at any point in the spawn animation, and then just do the menuing. If you're entering a level from the previous stage, oh dang, I forgot to do it. Then, like, the window is still there, but it's only a few frames big, to continue that sentence. If you enter a level from the world map, then you can't do it, it's impossible. So I had to, like, force a respawn there by switching characters pretty fast. And that let me get the... that let me get the bandage. Anyways, this is Joseph. He's a little robot dude from, I think the game is called Machinarium. I've never played it, but he's a cool character. Anyways, if you mash A really fast, or if you use the auto jump, you get a super jump like that. And you can also abuse the fact that he has like this mid-air hover thing, and you can use that to like get double jumps and so on. Like, he's a really useful character. We would be using him in a whole lot more of the run if Nigel didn't exist. Wait, is this right here is Alien Hominid? He's got a little blaster that like halts his downward deceleration from a jump. Gives him some vertical velocity that's really powerful in combination with other things that increase your vertical velocity, like, say, these little elevator rails here. Wait, this warp zone is pretty special. The final level in it, there's actually a glitch in the level editor where, like, if you save the level in a certain way, it will accidentally duplicate the last block that you placed. Which I guess in this level's case was Bandage Girl, because there's a second Bandage Girl, she's hiding off screen. And got her. Cool. If I hit her but miss the bandage there, I can have to replay the warp zone, which costs me so much time. Or I can just get the bandage and, like, miss her and then die and so on. Like, that's a pretty risky trick to go for. Anyways, we're doing some levels of Dark Factory right now. This doesn't really make much sense when you view it on its own, but we're going for bandage here. These levels are nice in that they have a lot of bandages in them, and Nyjah doesn't speed them up as much as she speeds up other levels, so. We're going to do this so we can get her a bit earlier in Dark Hospital, which is the next chapter that we're doing. And we're going to be able to use her for a few more stages later, and there's a pretty nice skip that she makes possible. One of the stages that saves a few seconds. There you go. The strat for this level here is going to abuse a property of Joseph's where shit, come on, get the bandage already. Like, if you slide off a wall like that, because he didn't jump off the wall, he still retains his jump. So you can use that to, like, get an auto jump in the middle of the air, which is going to send him really high up. And you can reach places that you normally couldn't, like the end of the stage. It's unfortunate that the middle factory has like a bunch of auto scrollers in a row. There you go. is this guy here is Agma. He's from the game Jumper. And he's a pretty cool character. But it's unfortunate that outside of his warp zone, he basically has no real use compared to other characters. Like if you were playing the game casually, he'd be your best friend though. Because he's the first instance where you can get a double jump and know about it. So using him is like, hey, he's easy mode. This trick here is really hard. Got it though. Awesome. Alright, so I messed up a bit there. And this level is kinda tight on the A+. Like, it's not a huge deal. If I don't mess up again, I should still have like a second or so spare. Got it. Yeah, pretty much exactly a second. The A+ value there was 20 seconds, and that was in 1902. But yeah, that's a boss fight. There's a way that you can just skip around the edge. Like, normally there's supposed to be a depth zone there, but there's this technique, you can probably hear it on that controller, where if you let go of jump, or if you let go of run while jumping, and then start holding it again after you jump, you can like keep Meat Boy really close to the wall. And this lets you get faster jumps in some situations, although they're a bit shorter in terms of height. And more importantly, in that particular stage, it avoids a depth zone. Like, it avoids the out of bounds area at the edge where you would normally die. So that lets you just skip around the edge of the stage. I forgot what level this was. Shit. Apologies, I'm still a bit rusty. Like, real life happened over like the past month or two, and I haven't been able to practice as much as I wanted to. It's still gonna be a good run though. Anyways, we're gonna get Nyjah next level, and we're gonna start using her level after that. So, a bit about Nyjah. She has this air dash. It's really powerful. It takes her pretty far. And she's really hard to use, because the air dash is kind of dependent on your velocity when you do it. Like, it doesn't just take her a set distance, it kind of also adds in her existing velocity when you hit the button. There we go. And then there are certain situations where you can recharge the dash by hitting a surface. There's a window in the middle of the dash where you can just recharge it and just chain it like that and go ridiculously fast. She also has a whole lot of inertia, a lot more than just Meat Boy in general. Pretty much any other character in the game. So just controlling her, the basic physics behind her, even if you ignore the air dash, she'd be a pain to use. And probably most relevantly for us right now, she has this one-frame trick where, like, the way the dash works is you hit the dash button, and there's this, like, float thing, you just saw it, where she floats it, and then you release it and she dashes. Shit. But if you, like, jump on that frame, you can add the jump velocity into your super dash by... Dude, I hit the button, I swear. Like, if you cancel the dash fast enough, which is like basically you hit the dash button and then release it a frame later. Oh, please. Then the cancellation from like just the floating animation, it doesn't happen. And you can get like 1.5 times the height and distance off the dash, which is kind of important. It is a one-frame trick, but unlike some other one-frame tricks, like, it's not the kind of thing that you can't get every time because the window is entirely within your control. Like, it's just muscle memory. Are you precise enough at hitting buttons now? Anyways, we didn't get Glitch Girl going through the chapter normally, so we have to farm for her, which involves respawning the stage over and over in a situation where you can see whether you got it or not. So that's Glitch Girl right there. And I'm an idiot. It's okay though. There's about a 1 in 10 chance that she appears on any particular respawn. Really? This game has some really funny deaths. Alright, this time we're gonna get her. There we go. I'm unfortunately not as good with Naija as I would like. I'm pretty good with, like, going on all the other characters, but Naija I'm still learning. It's still a work in progress. Ultimately though, like, when I learn to use her right, it's gonna be so amazing. It's gonna be worth it. There are various things that can happen when you're like trying to end a dash. Even aside from whether or not you got a super dash if you wanted one or not. There's a window at the end of a dash where instead of getting like another dash off as you might have wanted, you'll just get a small slide instead. And that's like, I think it's... It doesn't feel like a huge window, but I'm unfortunately hitting it more often than I should be. Man, I'm spending all this time talking about how bad I am. That's unfortunate. No, the Ninja is really hard to use, and there's only like a couple people in the world who can actually use her, what I would call properly. So I've been learning a lot over the past couple months, and I'm a lot better with her than I was even a week ago. So that wall slide was another glitch in the game. There's no way to control it. Like, just if you do a wall jump on the frame like touch a wall, then there's just a chance that you slide on it instead of wall jumping off it. There's not much you can do about it aside from play slower, which is not an option. Nice. Yeah, Ninja also can just clip through a wall. There's a couple spots where you can do it consistently, but for the most part, again, it's like just this random subpixel shit. Where if you dash from the right spot and everything's lined up perfectly and you get a super, then you're going through the wall. So yeah, that clip was completely unintentional. I meant to do like a 180 to go around the overhang at the beginning of that stage. But hey, I'll take it. This is easily the hardest stage in Lighthouse. You have to go through this twice. And Nigel's very much not a good character for this level. But it's not worth taking the time to switch out to someone else. And she is still faster, although she's harder to use than normal. Oh my god, that was so close.
Wow. Just a reminder though, folks, you have like 1 hour, maybe a little more than an hour to go before Final Fantasy VI starts, and we're still up for file names here. A lot of them are pretty easy to get. I think some are even still free, or like $1.
Yeah, make sure you get on that.
Yeah, we still have one character that needs a name, has nothing bid for it. And then after that, the next two are $5 a piece. You can still add to the names. The current names are Anime, Yuna, Happy, Trees, Zoma, Rocket, a face. You'll have to look at the incentive list yourself to see it. I'll link it in a second. DQ3 RTA. And of course do the thing, but they really don't need any more money. They're automatically in.
This boss, it takes a while to learn his pattern when you first play the game. And then you watch your run and you discover that he has a safe spot and only one of his attacks can hit you. And you just need to learn when to jump, and he's completely trivial. Safe spot is pretty big too. I've missed it like once in a couple years of playing the game, once I knew it was there. But the beginning of Rapture is kind of interesting. There's a glitch in the game where you can like have your level ID set incorrectly. And what you can do with that is I'm going to be backing out of the hit warp zone here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to backspace right the hell out and go back in. What that does is it's going to send me back once I beat the warp zone. It's going to send me back to the level with the same ID number as the level that I just backspaced out of, which is the first level. So I'm going to get sent back to the first level after I beat this warp zone. I set that up. And then this game also is a property where... Hang on, I want to beat this level before I talk anymore. Cool trick. Damn, dude. I was getting this almost deathless in practice, and suddenly I get here in a run and I can't do it anymore. It's a shame. There we go. Alright, so as I was saying, if you warp to like a different level like that, the game also has this property where if there's a warp zone on that level, instead of like putting you on the level, we'll just put you on the warp zone. So the point of backing out of a warp zone like that was to send me directly to this warp zone without having to unlock it. Which saves something like 10 seconds. Anyways, obviously that was the Kid Warp Zone. The Kid Warp Zone is widely known as the hardest part of the game. And of course it has one of the hardest tricks in the game, which was that Kid 2 stuff. This warp zone is the other hardest warp zone in the game, mostly because of this level. This level is pretty long, has a couple tricky jumps, and makes you go back through it twice to get the bandage at the end. And a death at the end of this level costs something like 40-50 seconds. It's pretty unreal. Like most deaths in this game, this game is honestly kind of forgiving in that sense, because most deaths, they cost like maybe 5-10 seconds. Like, there's not many places where you can lose minutes unless, like, you're farming for glitch goal and then you get bad luck after that or stuff like that. But we got it. have the key. If that key falls out on the map, you're screwed. You basically have to reload the level. Pretty decent rapture so far, aside from the Kid 2 stuff. Anyways, let me get to these Mii clones. And these guys are kind of random. Like, you can manipulate what they do and like give them an option to do something, but whether or not they take it is up to them. Like, they can jump when you jump, but only sometimes. They can run, like, it's random even how fast they run or how high they jump. I mean, there are some strats that let you get through them pretty much every time, but even then there's like the 1% chance. Even if you play perfectly, they're just gonna screw you over.
I got a second.
Sure thing.
It's from our friend Ice Plug. He says, "Hello and congratulations on your success, JRTA2. May our Japanese friends find an exciting time at AGDQ in the 2 months from now. And thanks to all of the organizers. Put money to file name DZ Nuts, please, and that's $15 to D's Nuts." Thank you very much, Ice Plug. So as it stands, that actually bumps either Happy or Trees off. There's currently a tie. Oh no, wait a minute, no, that fills out all the names, I'm lying. But somebody could bump Happy or Trees off with a donation of $6 or more. Or you could add to Happy and Trees to make sure that, that they stay there. Also, with Final Fantasy VI, if you decide to forego putting your donation to a character name, you can donate $10 or more, I believe, during that game and be entered to win a prize. Let me get you a link to what that prize is. Right as I thought, it's boxed. It's a boxed copy of Final Fantasy VI for this Japanese version, of course.
Good game.
Great game, and it's coming right up after you kick this game's behind. Ah, right, yes, it's a 6-character limit.
Alright, so the boss in Rapture is Larry, and he's pretty infamous in terms of how many 90% runs he can ruin. He's completely RNG, whether or not he jumps into the saw. On his final cycle, there's only like a quarter chance that he jumps. So I got really good luck there. That was a 4 cycle. Ideally, you would get 3 cycles. Now he's completely random. There's nothing you can do to influence it one way or the other. So like he can have you just sitting there for minutes. More than one 90% run has been ruined by him. This isn't the end, it's the final chapter of the game. There's a post-game chapter, but this is like the final story chapter of the game. All the levels here are supposed to be really long. We found sequence breaks for a lot of them. Dang, I almost had the absolute fastest cycle. That would have been pretty awesome. Yeah, this game is like... There's so many different strats that you can do for all of these levels, and... Many of them, like if you're not... Like if you don't really know about them, it's hard to even see how they should be possible. Like, I bet that going through the stage twice there looked about the same to a lot of viewers out there. But one of them I could obviously almost have beaten, that one saw in the center. And the other I was nowhere close to beating it. It's like little things like that can really add up. This is honestly an extremely technical and like it's an extremely demanding game to speedrun. Right, cool trick there. So the game has 2 final bosses. There's one for the Light World version, and then there's a Dark World that gets you the true ending of the game. 90% just has to beat this, which is like, if you just go straight forward, it's like a less than 20-minute run. Anyways, you got those saws in the beginning, and you're supposed to like have to... Dr. Fetus is the antagonist of the game, and he's got this rocket launcher. You're supposed to have to sit there with him and like dodge all the shots that he fires and like stay between the saws and all that, but what's the point of that? You can just skip past the saws and wait over here at the end. Standing on this button gives us invincibility for when the saws pass over. So I'm just gonna sit here, I'm gonna ride this out. He's gonna die immediately. And then we just have to beat the escape, and that's going to be the end of the main section of the game. After this, we've got a whole lot of Dark World to do, and also the post-game chapters. So this isn't the end of the run by a long shot. It's Continental, you play as the bandage girl who you're supposed to be rescuing every stage. She has exactly the same physics as Meeple, it's just she's a Pulse swap. The levels here take elements from all across the game. And I can't believe it just did that, man. A lot of them are supposed to be absolute bullshit, but there's always a strategy that you can use.
Got a new donation in here. It's from Rambling Josh. It says here, money goes to for FF6 character name. Hashtag team. Good comment. It's $15. Thank you very much. Alright, y'all, well, this is JRTA2. All money from here on out will be going to Medicine Sans Frontiers. Doctors Without Borders. I can't speak French at all. We've met our goal already, so we will be helping Ohon and Beko to get to America for AGDQ, which is awesome. Thank you very much, everybody. They're gonna kick some ass over here, for sure.
Definitely.
And we still got a little bit more to go. Vorpal's doing a bang-up job here, and next is Final Fantasy VI. You still have a chance to win a copy of Final Fantasy VI later if you donate $10 or more. And you can currently still name Final Fantasy VI characters, so don't stop now. We're still rolling.
Nice wall slide. Yeah, nothing I could have done about that. Anyways, Dark Cotton Alley is pretty different from Light Cotton. It's supposed to be harder. I don't think it's really harder so much as just the stages are a lot more bullshit in general. And just feature different elements that are just a lot less precise. There's also a lot more auto-scrollers. The second half of Dark Cotton Alley, which we're getting to after the next couple stages, has like a whole bunch of 20 or 30 second auto-scrollers, which is just kind of obnoxious to play. In the end, I think Dark Cotton is definitely a lot less fun. Here we go. Almost. There you go. Alright. Like that past stage, for instance, was basically, you know the strat, or you're basically never getting through it. Here's about where the auto-scrollers start. There's not much I can do to speed this up, just don't die. This stage is probably my least favorite stage in the game. It's unfortunately just really boring all around. There is a trick I can do at the end to speed it up. And save one cycle off these rotating saws, so let's see if I get it. Got it, cool. Oh shit, what's that? this stage right here is pretty infamous, but fortunately there's a pretty easy safe strat. Just sit over here and make sure this, like, hellmouth thing always hits us blocking the home tree. Just don't mess up the drop at the end. These guys, we're gonna group them together, then get them out of the way. Like so. Nice, first try. That's the level you basically either you get it first try, or you spend like 20 minutes on it. Well, 20 minutes is an exaggeration, but like you can, like if you just don't have the feel for that top row, with all like one tile jumps, then you can spend an awful long time there. That's Dark Cotton Alley. So now we're going to be doing some cleanup over the rest of the game, and then after like these next couple of chapters, we're heading to Dark End to finish. Dark Rapture is regarded by a lot of people as the hardest chapter in the game. And looking at it, you can kind of see why. It's got a lot of saws over some pretty huge levels. There's a lot of like really silly elements like repulsors, these guys. That are just hard to deal with in general. Really? That does surprise me. Stage. Alright, so coming up, the next level is probably the next set of 2 levels is probably the dumbest set of 2 levels in the game. 59X, which is the next level, is going to be, there's like 20,000 big zones around, And all of them are going to do different things each time you play them. So we gotta take it pretty safe in this level. Like, group them as effectively as you can. And, like, spend a lot of time on them. Like, just jumping around where they can't reach you. Oh, this guy is down at the end. Oh, he didn't come after me. There's a really cool strat you can do where if he decides to jump down the tube after you, try to snipe you as you're heading up it. There's a pretty cool strat you can dodge him, but he chose not to do it. He's depriving me of my opportunity to show off, man. What a dick. Nice death. I jumped, I swear. A bit too fast. That's alright though. If you lure that guy out by going a bit further right than you think you should have to, then you can make that jump a bit earlier, or the next jump off the next platform, and save a bit of time there. Like, there's a whole bunch of really minor things like that that are basically impossible to notice unless you know what to look for already. Like, which is why it's, like, this is honestly a really hard game to commentate. There's a bandage in this floor here. Probably the dumbest bandage to get in the game. Like, whether or not that rocket actually hits the thing. It's not really something you can depend on. The rocket does what it wants. And sometimes, like, there are little cockroaches that run along the ground. Like, it's really hard to see them. But the rocket can hit one of those instead, and your shot can just get eaten. Then you basically have to replay the level because the cycle's gone. There we go. Really? Alright, so this level has a warp zone. And it's the last level in the chapter. If I get Glitch Go on this level, I'm gonna be really lucky. Because if Glitch Go, she does the same thing that the Skyscraper Long Warp back at Light Rapture did, where if I get her on a level and the level has a warp zone, then she'll just put me on the warp zone. And I won't have to play the level. There's only like a 1 in 20 chance that this happens, and I didn't get it. So because it didn't happen, I have to go and actually unlock it, which is a shame. Ooh, that was close. I don't think I had to wait there. I didn't feel like that. advantage in this level right here is not the hardest to get in the game, but it's definitely also notorious. There we go. That really just happened. Okay. Dang, dude. Alright, so if you game over in the warp zone, then you have to, like, start all over from it, which is... It's one of the most costly mistakes you can make, so that kinda sucked. It's all good, though. Because then I'm gonna beat this level first try, and everyone will forget about it. Am I right? Oh yeah? Beautiful. Alright, so we didn't get electrical, so we have to farm. And this farm here is the only farm that I'm going to do where I don't just suicide repeatedly. It's faster in this case to just complete a level repeatedly. There he goes. Third try. That was almost perfect. Good shit. Dark Hell is the last chapter I'm going to use Naja for. Honestly, I could have used her for like Dark Rapture and upcoming Dark Factory as well. But like it's, as I said before, real life has been hitting me really hard lately, and I just haven't had time to practice those. Definitely before AJDQ though. I'm going to be running this game at AJDQ, and it's going to be really awesome. There you go. That dash in the previous level. Nice. There was one dash in the previous level where I had to buffer a dash. Like dashing off the ceiling. It's weird in that you can buffer your inputs, which normally you can't do with Naja. So either you have to buffer it correctly, or you just get like this float kind of thing, where you just float up until you hit something. There you go. And the float is really annoying because what it means if you get that is, it means that, like, it happens when you dash just as you're coming out from under a ceiling. So if you just mash dashes along the ceiling, then eventually you're going to get a float somewhere, and it's going to ruin your day, because typically if you get it, you're about to hit something, because I guess just how the levels work. There's always something there to get you. So Naja is definitely a character where you want to time your shit. Even if it sounds like I'm dashing. The window is every 10 frames. You can dash every 10 frames. So that's 6 times per second, which makes it look like... Yeah, see, I got a float there. Yeah, like everyone who's watching Nyjah is just thinking, oh hey, just mash the button. It's all simple, right? Nah, not really. There we go. I'm gonna save that one too. So this trick is pretty hard. There we go.
So what would you say is your favorite thing that can kill you?
I don't know, but my favorite mistake... Like, okay, so Nyjah can sometimes flip through walls, right? And... in 5-1, there's this particular wall that leads... If you get it, it leads you straight into the skyscraper warp zone. And if that happens, then basically... You're just sitting there and you think, why did I even bother block warping? Favorite death though. Probably getting wall slide on the final jump and escape. Straight into the final stall in the game. Never happened to me personally, but definitely I've seen a couple people do it, and you're just sitting there and you're thinking, oh my god, I feel so bad for this guy. I want to send him cookies. Anyways, we didn't get glitch gold, so again, we're gonna have to farm. Farming strats are actually... Some characters have faster spawn times than others. Like Runman here, not only does he move fast, he spawns in about 0.7 seconds from death to respawn. And Meat Boy is something like 1.1 seconds, so every time that you farm with him, you're saving time just from farming. Some characters are worse than others. I think the worst one in the game is Commander Video. Like, he's the character that you get in the first chapter, the one who, like, floats and has this rainbow trail behind him. Like, dying and respawning with him is just, you're sitting there, and you have time to think about your life choices and how they're bad because you're playing Commander Video. Wait. I forgot I had to get a warp on here, so I jumped up and tried to go back down to the key and decided I'd just try to dodge the missile. Didn't work. Should've just kept going and beat the level, but the more you know, right? This level has 4 keys in it. One of them opens the bandage, 2 of them open the final area. One of them is just a red herring, so you only need 3 of the 4 keys. There we go. The rockets in Warp Zone are the worst rockets in the game. There's some RNG to the rockets, depending on how exactly how fast they spawn. Like there's one strat at 90% in particular in this level 517. Where you can try to get a rocket to turn around midair and then break open and break a whole block for you instead of waiting a cycle for the second rocket. And like 90% of the time, the strat works fine. The other 10% of the time, it just fires early and you die, and there's like nothing you can do about it besides from not doing the strat. So I'm using these blocks here to try to like counteract that as much as possible. They can only fire if they see you, so leaving those blocks there like lets me control the terms of when they're active. Like if you get decent luck, it doesn't matter, but if you get really, really bad luck, then those blocks can help you. Oh yeah, this game has some weird hitboxes too. That's all Pile extends. I want to say it extends a bit further than is visible. Not by that much, but enough to kill me. And this is the other worst level in the game. Like, there's a few levels where you're in this little cage and there's a rotating box of saws and they're all miserable. They all suck. Right, this is the only time in the run we're going to see Fly Wrench. Aside from his Warp Zone. Fly Wrench is really cool. Like, he can just climb up walls. And if you slide off the top of the wall, then you can get like 4 jumps off it, which is really good. We would have a lot more use for him if Niger didn't exist. So, a little known fact about this game is that in pretty much every level you spawn a little bit in the air. And in some levels, like if you're next to a wall, then sometimes you can touch that wall before like you actually hit the ground. And if you do that, then you can like get this, what we call it a spawn jump. Like we call a lot of things a spawn jump, but basically it's where you get a wall jump earlier than you can like do anything else. And wall jumps, of course, set you to max speed instantly, so it can be really beneficial to do that. That level has one of the weirdest spawn jumps in the game, where sometimes you can get it, sometimes you can't. Like, just the subpixel, like it varies based on the subpixels of when you spawn, which varies depending on the stage. And like, not even the stage, just each time we play the stage, it varies a bit. I get glitch go here? No. Alright. I couldn't remember. Where was it going with that? Yeah, like there were some levels where the spawn jump is really easy the second time you play the stage after you die once, or after like you beat it and then hit replay on it. But it's almost impossible the first time you play the stage, so you don't see that 1 in 90%. And then there are some that are really easy. Like this game, like just has a lot of good stuff going on. It's honestly really jankily programmed. Like no offense to Team Meat. It was coded basically on the back of mental breakdowns, but there's a lot of stuff in this game that just doesn't work right. Alright, so we're down to the final chapter. And unfortunately, we can't switch characters to anyone else in the end or Cotton Alley, so we're stuck with Meat Boy here. Like, if we could switch characters, there would be some really amazing sequence breaks we can do. But as it stands, we'll just have to, like, you know, go through this maze and be really awesome without those. Nice. That's harder than it looks. Alright, so we're doing the final 2 levels of the end in a weird order. We're gonna farm on 6-3x. And we're gonna farm on 6-3x before we actually get 100% in the chapter, because all the levels in the end are really long. And the only levels where we can farm, as in where we can see Bandage Ghoul at the spawn of the level, are levels that take like fucking 20 seconds to complete. And also, there's the ending cutscene, which we would have to time if we don't get the split on, like, just beating the final escape. So what we're going to do is we're going to farm without 100%, so it's going to be a 1 in 20 chance, instead of a 1 in 10, roughly. And 6-3x also happens to be one of the hardest levels in the game. So I'm going to farm here until I get it once, and if I die on it, I'm just going to bite the bullet and farm in 6-2 and have to replay the stage. That's how this is going to play out. If you get this, then it saves like 30 seconds or more over farming on 6-2. If you don't get this, then well, the worst case, because you have a worse chance of getting going to spawn at all, the worst case is definitely worse than farming on 6-2. Like 6-2 is better on average, but the stage here is better in the best case scenario. Which is obviously like what you want. There you go. Right, so moment of truth. Shit. Well, I missed the best strat, so I already lost like 10 seconds. But it didn't die, so it didn't lose glitch goal, so I don't have to farm again. Sometimes you can like kind of sneak in under that door after it closes, like you just phase through it, which is what I was trying to go for. Right, we got it then. It's all good. You have to get there really early, like, if you try to go earlier than you're supposed to, then you just, like, okay, let me backtrack and try saying that again. Getting to that door early enough to actually phase in under it requires playing that jump really riskily. And sometimes you just don't get it, and you can, like, sometimes you go, like, a little too early. It's extremely easy to miss time. And if you do that, then you're basically dead. and you're dead on a level where you just spent a minute farming glitch gold, which is not a very good cost-benefit analysis when you put it like that. So you really you want to make sure that you don't go too early in that stage. So I played it a bit safe, and I didn't make it, but I didn't die, which is the important part, so I was able to complete it. Anyways, time is coming up in like a minute. 30 seconds. Come on, try this again. There we go. That's the strat I wanted. If you get that auto jump, I was just missing the inputs. My own fault there. But if you get that auto jump, then you can get a really good cycle through the rest of the stage. And still miss Leap of Faith, but... Right. And time.
Yeah.
135.
135.39.
Yeah.
135. Yeah, that sounds about right. Obviously, I've done a lot better than that run in the past, but I haven't had much. I didn't have much chance to play for the past couple months, and I've like been trying to push all my grinding into the past week. So I guess that's about to be expected. It went alright though. I got everything I went for, even if I had to die a few times to get it. It's all good. Whereas normally what happens at the end of 106 run is the death count game. And the better you get, the worse this game gets, because the easier it gets to predict the death count. But on the stat screen at the very end of the game, it lists the number of times that the player died. So time is 135. The answer is going to be in the hundreds somewhere. Like somewhere between 100 and 500. I'm gonna give that advice. Take a guess though. How many times did I die? Oh, and don't bother counting because I actually have control during this end cutscene, and I can just like die a few times in the middle of it and respawn at the beginning of the escape to rack that number up a bit. So don't bother counting. Just guess.
420.
420. Good choice.
While we're guessing here and the credits and ending are rolling, this is like your last chance to get your Final Fantasy VI names in, I believe. So if you wanna, I think it's somewhere in the $10 to $15 range. You wanna get a new name in there, or if you wanna help support another one, maybe get one of the ones that have been bumped down out of 10th place, below 10th place, back up in there.
Definitely consider it.
Yep, we won't have much time.
So let's go back and check. We're going to play this with Price is Right rules closely without going over. So let's do it. And that's 266. So yeah, thank you all for watching this. Really appreciate it. It was fun. I'm gonna go ahead and peace out. And good luck to Final Fantasy VI run. Good luck to anyone donating on those names. You're gonna need it. Thanks for having me on, y'all.